What's up, guys? Welcome to day... I don't know where that came from. Look at that. Welcome to day 7. Well, now 6. Day 7 of 3D printing. This is from the brim of one of our recent prints. Somehow it slid its way into the binder. Any case, this video is going to be a little bit more on the technical side, and I would say is really, informational. Not going to be a demonstration of a print, but necessarily kind of a walkthrough of what supports are, how they're useful, and then what does that first layer finish look like. So let's look at this clip of this dial right here on these phones right here. Notice the finish looks terrible. Now, granted, this is going to be for a prop phone used for drama club. It's not going to be looked at pretty close at all, so I wasn't too concerned with that finish. However, it looks ugly. It doesn't look good. Since we have this sticky corundum glass bed, that first layer is always going to look a little rough. Not always, but most likely, more often than not, look a little rough. So let's ask ourselves the question, well, if instead of a safe print, what could I do to help produce a better finish? Well, if you want, wherever say, I would say the best finish would be the one that's not on the print bed. So if I take this, I'll show how I did it. So on the left side of the toolbar here, you have a rotation button. If I rotate this 180 degrees, we notice that this top layer right here is, or the top layer of our dial here is going to be the last layer printed. It is going to look probably the best. It's not going to have any line marks in it. Yeah, the resolution is probably going to be the best. It's going to have the greatest, smoothest finish. However, we have some red under here. That red is a Cura's way of telling you there's going to need to be a support layer here to print this piece. Since the 3D printer can't 3D print in midair, or at least not very easily, it's going to produce a support layer. So let's click slice right now and show what happens. A support layer is going to be a amount of material used to support your actual 3D print. So if I click on preview, we see that there's this bunch of blue underneath. That means this is going to be a support layer that's going to snap off pretty easily. And we're just going to throw it away. You can recycle it wherever it's going to go, but it's not going to be part of your actual finished print. The inside of those support lines, so let's bring our slicing down a little bit. You can see that the inside of my column, my dial here, has some triangle patterns for that infill density. But then my support layer has this open, rectangular, easy snap away infill. And that just makes it, it's really easy to pull out, not too much problem, and decent pair of pliers, and you're totally fine. But then my top layer has a nice smooth finish. So if you're going for a smooth finish, you can try to make your part be upright rather than face down. But for what I was doing here, this was going to be looked at 30 feet away, so I really didn't care what that finish of the front of the dial looked like. Now, how much can we get away with? How much can we get away with not needing a support? So if you notice over here in the print settings, I have support. We had already used generate support everywhere, but we have an overhang angle of 60 degrees. Unless you've got your printer just fine-tuned in, you understand the speeds, you really don't need this video, you're probably going to be in that 45 to 60 degree range. I chose 60 degrees and to see if I could get away with something. And here's what I got away with. Here was my issue on what I was trying to figure out. We were making these phones, and I needed the inside of these phones to be hollow for the electronics for the ringer. So if I hit slice now, it's going to go through slice by slice, and this whole inside layer right here is going to have a support. I would have to carve it out. I'd be spending 20, 45 minutes just chipping away at the inside of this dial. That would not have been helpful for me and a lot of wasted material. So I said, okay, what could we do how much can we get away with? Really, how much? With a basic Ender 3, mostly out of the package of vanilla, what could we do? And here's what I did. I said, can we print it on its nose? And then hit slice. And I was like, okay, how much overhang is actually here that will need support? And surprisingly, it wasn't very much. It was only the inside column of the dial. That part snipped away really, really well, and I was able to smooth out that surface a little bit, and it was perfect. Notice that there was no unneeded support on the inside. I was just a little bit down here, but not near as much of what I had to clear out. Actually, I didn't even clear out that part. I just kept it in there. But in any case, it was a little bit of a quicker print. It was a little bit of a less waste, and it actually worked. So let's watch the clip again and see if you can see the lines in this print. You can see the ones on the dial really easily, but can you see the ones on the front face? And I think they're a little bit better hidden because of the direction of the lines with how the light hits them. Okay, well, in any case, guys, this is what we got. We've talked about support, we've talked about its use, and we've talked about some test cases of when you should use it. Here's what I will say. Until you've learned how to fine-tune your support settings, I would say generate support everywhere. And I would say 60 degrees or lower for your overhang angle. Keep your build plate adhesion as a skirt, and it would help you out in the long run. Okay, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to reach out, but support is kind of a necessary foundational tool you would need to master 3D printing at home. We have some interesting stuff kind of lined up. Just give me time, folks. These videos take a little while to make, and I just don't have that much time on my hands. We have STEM Day coming up, and I'm super excited about it. If you haven't watched, there's a preview video kind of talking about what's going on in there. In any case, you guys are awesome. Stay awesome, and I will see you